Well, good evening, guys. This is Mike Cassidy with Cumberland Pro Lures, and I want to take some time out. It's getting close on the big Bass Bonanza that's going to be on Lake Cumberland. This pays $15,000 to win first place, guaranteed money, $15,000, and we're really excited about it. The venue is Conley Bottom, where all the weigh-ins will be. You need to read the rules specifically about where you can launch and what time you can fish and all that. But what I want to do today is just share a few things with you. You need to go to the website. Listen very carefully. It's www.honestmikeoutdoors.com. And I'll do a close-up for you there if you want to screenshot that or what have you. Jeff Bunch is the owner of Honest Mike Outdoors. He's from Texas, and he has a passion for this type tournament because of his friend Mike. He loved the big fish tournaments, and he wants to bring one to Lake Cumberland. And I so want this to be a success for our area. It's going to help all of our businesses tremendously throughout the Lake Cumberland area, and no better venue to have that than Conley Bottom. If you're from out of town and you need a place to stay, get your room booked now at Conley Bottom before they're filled up, because a lot of people want to stay close. If you're staying there in Burnside, you got Seven Gables, and of course Somerset has so many motels. If you're staying on the lower end of the lake, you can go stay at the Cumberland Lodge there in Russell Springs. It's right off the main highway as you get off the parkway there. It's right beside the Arby's Cumberland Lodge. Go ahead and make your reservations. But this is a very special tournament. If we have over 100 boats, we'll be paying multiple places per hour, and that's our goal, is to have a couple hundred. But I know there's so many tournaments going on, and some folks have prior commitments, and we understand that. But we're looking forward to having this tournament, and it's going to be an honor to have Jeff Bunch and Honest Mike Outdoors on Lake Cumberland at Conley Bottom, October the 10th and the 11th. There will be pre-registration on Friday evening for sure. You can register there at the lake. But here's a very important deal about this. If you register online before September 18th and you sign up for both days, we will be having a bonus tournament for you that you fish free of charge. No cost whatsoever if you fish both days of this event. As of right now, if I don't gather not another sponsor, it will pay $2,000 for first place, $1,000 for second place, $500 for third place, and the first man out of the money will receive a brand new Dixie Custom rod. And I'm so glad that we're able to do that. Dixie Custom is the only rods that I use, so if you don't know about Dwayne Wilson and Dixie Custom rods, be sure to check him out. He's got a rod for every possible bass technique that you can think of. So check out Dixie Custom rods. I appreciate him sponsoring that, and MC Furniture is one of the sponsors for a couple $100, and Anglers Outpost and Marine, and in Nicholasville there. There's others. My mind's failing me at the moment. It's been a long day, but make sure that you let those people know that you appreciate them. Anglers Outpost and Marine's a wonderful friend of ours. Also, Bill Day. Bill Day's a good friend of ours, and he's also sponsoring the event. And from Day's Boat Sales there in Frankfort, if you're looking for a Ranger boat, you can go see Bill Day's team. Team Days Boat Sales. And if you're looking for a Triton, I'm currently running an aluminum Triton right now, which I love, and I got it at Anglers Outpost. It's a 19-footer that'll hold a 175, so that's the real deal there for fishing the Arkansas River. I'll be leaving next week for that. But make sure you get on there and go to www.honestmikeoutdoors.com and register today so you can get in this free tournament. And for guys that are not familiar with this format, I know people say, oh, they're paying $15,000 and somebody's going to cheat. Jeff Bunch is going to have a retired FBI agent a retired CIA agent on the premises to administer polygraph tests at random and at will. So don't worry about cheating being a factor in this tournament. Um, there's going to be fishermen there that know all the anglers. If there's someone in question that no one knows, and they bring in an 8-pound largemouth in the middle of October on Cumberland, I promise you they're going to be given a polygraph test. So that's the deal on the tournament. Just do not miss this. And I've been saying that I was going to share with you some things, some tools that you'll need. Very simple, very simple. You know, I'm all in with Cumberland Pro Lures. Everybody knows that. I bought it a few years ago, and we're in the middle of transition right now. Production's now in Georgia because we just couldn't keep up with demand. But I'm not just going to tell you about Cumberland Pro here today. I'm going to show you what I would throw if I was at that tournament. I will not be able to be there due to the COVID rescheduling of the Toyota Series. I'm going to have to be in Missouri. But if I was at the tournament, this is what I would have tied on. I just got a new one in. This is a Wesley Schrader old school balsa bait, walking bait. And it's from PH Custom Lures. That's Phil Hunt from up in Indiana. And I want you to see this balsa bait. See the bow in the back? This is a phenomenal topwater deal. And Wesley had a lot of input on the design of this bait. And I'm going to shake it for you. Completely silent, which is a big key, I think, nowadays, because fish hear so many rattles and so much different things. Sometimes they want something silent, especially on the lower end, the clear water, the big smallmouth. If I were smallmouth fishing on the lower end, first thing in the morning, I'd have on this walking bait, Wesley Schrader Signature Series, old school walking bait. Get that from PH Custom Lures, and you better order now. They sell so fast, you better order now. Also, another bait that is super good if you're largemouth fishing. And I'll show you here in a minute some other tools, but for largemouth fishing, if you're looking for a big bite, you need to be in the back of one of the large creeks. And of course, Cumberland has a lot of large tributaries. This is a PH Custom Lures. I think this one's called a Sub P, and everything that I've used of Phil's is top-notch quality, or I wouldn't use them, obviously, or especially I wouldn't promote them, but I certainly wouldn't use them either. This is a sexy shad. This little bait is absolutely gorgeous. Runs 2 foot or less, depending on how far you throw and depending on your line size. But this is going to be a phenomenal bait for the big largemouth up shallow, and they will be shallow. I mean, they'll be fishing all stages. It's October. You might catch a big largemouth out 30 foot deep somewhere, but there's going to be a lot of guys like to fish shallow. If you're going to fish shallow, make sure you check out the PH Custom Lures. This one happens to be one of my favorites, but he offers so many small crankbaits that'll be great, and they will have an application on Lake Cumberland that weekend for largemouth up in the creeks. Another thing that you've got to have tied on in the back of a creek if you're fishing for largemouth is the Cumberland Pro Buzz Bait. I don't know if you can tell, but this one's beat up pretty good. This is the Cumberland Pro Buzz Bait, not because I've owned it, not because of any other reason. I can honestly tell you this is the first bait that I used from that company back when Larry Decker owned it as Gambler 3 Baits. And I've went through every buzzbait brand that I could buy over the years, and I always went back to the Cumberland Pro Buzzbait. If you do get it out of tune, it's easy to tune. It'll stay in tune, and this gold blade is phenomenal. If you're fishing shallow in the dirty water, that gold blade has a different sound. It clacks different than aluminum, and it's a real loud sound. So in the dirty water, that's a key. And most of the time I throw 2 colors on my buzz bait. black and black. Now, there are exceptions to that, obviously. If you're on the main lake and you're fishing an area where there's a mixed population of fish, largemouth, big spots, or Kentuckies, I like the 1/4 ounce Cumberland Pro Buzz bait in a pearl or translucent blue pearl, in a 1/4 ounce with just an aluminum blade, no clacker. So get on tackle. You can get all your Phil Hunt custom baits and also Cumberland Pro on Tackle Warehouse. So I think everything I've showed you here from PH Custom Lures, you can get at Tackle Warehouse. And I want to say the old school baits are somewhat cheaper, but they're still not cheap. And there's a reason why. They're all handmade, and Phil Hunt literally paints every bait that goes out of his shop himself. And I know, so how's that possible? This guy works around the clock 7 days a week and doesn't get to fish much. That's how he does it. We talked on the phone the other day, and he said, I can't believe that you caught me. And I mean, he just paints constantly. So every bait is handmade, hand painted, and you will not be disappointed with Phil Hunt's PH Custom Lures. And you can get all this stuff on Tackle Warehouse. The gold-bladed buzzbait is probably our #1 selling buzzbait on Tackle Warehouse, and for good reason. But there also are many applications for the aluminum when you want something quiet and more subtle. So you've got to have that in the back of a creek for largemouth fishing, and also a Cumberland Pro spinnerbait. I would go with the bullet head style in the fall, something a smaller profile, smaller blades. But these right here, this is going to play a big deal in that tournament in the fall. This is our Cumberland Pro Finesse Football, and this is the way I've trimmed my football jigs for years, just like that. I've had these in my boat for a while for spares, but I've trimmed it like that, especially for the smallmouth. What you want to use on this is like a small rage crawl or a small pack a chunk, and if the fishing is, if they're kind of finicky, just a super chunk junior, something with just a little bit of action. Keep it simple. This is green pumpkin and orange. Also, the Baron Crawl, if the water is cleared and fairly stained, you cannot go wrong with the Cumberland Crawl. And also the Procaster jig, I would definitely have a 3/8 ounce black and blue Procaster jig with a super chunk, a big salty chunk on that, on my deck that day. I didn't have time to dig everything out. It was getting ready to rain on me before I got in the house, but those are the tools you want. This here is really a finesse football. It's 3/8, but I would be using a half and even up to a 3/4 as the day went on for those smallmouth. Really simple. Throw it out and just drag it down the points and the ledges, and that'll catch you a lot of smallmouth in that tournament. This bait could very possibly win that tournament. It's a time where largemouth sometimes are iffy. You can catch several 4-pounders, but I think a 5+ smallmouth will win that tournament, most likely, unless somebody gets lucky and catches a 6-pound largemouth. But this is something really simple. I mean, my kid catches fish on this thing. You just throw it out and drag it, and he's going to bite or get out of the way, and most time they bite it. So that's what I'd be throwing if I were in that tournament. I wished I could be there. But go to the website, www.honestmikeoutdoors. Get signed up today. Get in this free tournament. I'll be releasing a date for that free tournament in the future, but I'll be responsible for that tournament, and it's going to be a great time. You cannot go wrong with this event. Also, at Conley Bottom, you can register your kids for the Young Anglers Program. You can register your kids for a Young Anglers Program, and Conley Bottom Resort is going to allow the kids to fish off the bank. This is unheard of. Conley Bottom has been so good to us in hosting this event, and I appreciate Amber and her family so much for all their hospitality. anybody that knows anything about Lake Cumberland know that all times of year, fish live behind Conley Bottom. So those kids are going to have a blast catching some fish. So there's different fish that they can weigh in. Go on there and read about it. But overall bass, $15,000, October 10th and 11th. Make sure to tell people about it. Share this video. Get the word out. And let me know. Message me if you'd like for me to do some more spots on Cumberland Pro lures or PH Custom lures, Dixie Custom rods, the stuff that I use. I'm not promoting anything I don't use or believe in strongly. I just will not do it. And obviously I won't use it myself. If I won't use it, I won't recommend it to someone else. So we appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you sharing this video from YouTube or Cumberland Pro, wherever you see it, so we can get the word out and make this event a great event so we can bring Honest Mike Outdoors back to Lake Cumberland and show them. Let's show these folks from Texas some great hospitality. Hope you have a great time, and I'll see you hopefully shortly. I'll probably try to do a live next week when I get down there on Dardanelle and the Arkansas River. But keep track of us. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Mike Cassida Fishing, and keep looking at Cumberland Pro Lures, and also check out Mickey Ballard's fishing page. It's called Mickey's Fishing Just for Fun, I think it is, but it's Mickey Ballard's Just for Fun fishing page. He's going to be sharing things about this tournament and try to share this video, so make sure you check his Facebook side out. And good luck to you, and we wish you the best. May God bless you.